right now.
We start with a traffic alert this noon. Highway 410 shut down in one area while crews on the east side try to clean up a crash.
Yeah, those trucks have been sitting there for a while now. Stephen Cavazos now joins us here in the studio with an update.
And it's been lasting quite a while there, David, Ursula. As we get a look outside with TransGuide, not a lot has changed out there, unfortunately. This is 410 at East Houston, and what we know at this hour, this is in the southbound lanes, and the highway completely shut down. I did talk to our friends at TransGuide. They are seeing reports this could possibly involve an 18-wheeler. I am working to get some information clarified through San Antonio Police, so we are hearing a few different things out there, but one thing that is certain, this is an area you want to avoid. Again, southbound lanes completely shut down there. You could see the traffic is back to back, so pack some patience, folks, because you could get stuck in that if you're not careful. Loop 410 just past Rigsby Avenue is where we have that pinpointed, and there it builds a huge stretch of red and orange. It's a color that we don't like to see, especially at this hour when most people should be heading out for lunch. So again, just avoid that area if you can. We'll give you a wider look at the map while we're at it. We're not seeing any other issues be reported, so that's the good news. But again, we need to work to get some more information clarified. Again, this is 410 at East Houston, just past Rigsby Avenue. Southbound lanes completely shut down. Stay with KSAT as we bring you the latest. We'll work to get that information to you, and once we have that update, be sure to look for it at KSAT.com. But you could scan this QR code and stay up to date with all the traffic trouble that is occurring out there on the highway. We'll have more updates for you throughout the day. Ursula?
Thank you so much, Stephen. Looks like a parking lot out there. Meantime, a murder trial for a 4-year-old that's been in the works for years, 5 years. It's finally getting its day in court. Deon Whitley, killed in a drive-by shooting back in 2017. Today, the trial begins for one of the co-defendants.
Jury selection is underway as we speak. Quentin Phillips' murder trial. Eric Hernandez now joining us here in the studio to give us a recap of the case and then tell us what we can expect in the days ahead. We mentioned 2017 is when this took place, and we're just now going to trial. What's taking so long?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Well, like you said, 2017, these men were actually arrested until 2020 in charge. Phillips and two other co-defendants on the case were arrested and charged in the middle of 2020. Now, going back to July 19, 2017, the home Deon Whitley was living in was shot up in a drive-by shooting. More than 60 rounds were fired into the house. Whitley and his mother were both hit. While his mother survived her injuries, he didn't. The deadly shooting was linked to escalating gang violence on the east side. The FBI was actually investigating gang activity at the time, and their investigation is what led to the arrest of Phillips, Terrell Chase, and John Chapman. There is Phillips there in court. Not only were they charged with murder, but faced numerous other charges, including those federal charges. Now, right now in the 437th District Court, jury selection is taking place. As soon as a jury is seated, opening statements will begin, and that could possibly be later this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Now, this is a case we will be following closely. If Phillips is found guilty, he faces up to life in prison. David, Ursula?
Erica, we've heard about so many plea deals recently. Was he offered a plea deal as well?
He actually was offered a plea deal on Friday. It was a 40-year plea deal, but he rejected that, and that's why we're heading to trial this week.
So is Phillips one of the first co-defendants to actually go to trial?
Yeah, he really is one of the first co-defendants of the three that were charged with murder. Now, I do want to say Terrell Chase did have a trial earlier this year, but it was for another charge. It was for felon in possession. He was found guilty and was sentenced to life in prison, but it was just for that charge. He still also has to go to court and face that murder charge.
As far as this trial is concerned, this has taken a long time to get to trial, and he is the first co-defendant to stand trial. So I assume it's going to be a lengthy trial, or not so?
Yeah, there is a lot of players in this case. There's also that federal case that kind of goes into this murder trial. We're going to hear details from those investigations. There's videos, surveillance videos. There is obviously witness testimony. And we possibly can hear from De'Irvian's mom, Santonisha. I expect her to take a stand, as she was also in that home when that shooting happening. So there's a lot of players. I expect it to not take any less than a week, but we could be sitting here in that trial for at least 2 weeks. Now, for more on this case and others, just visit our courts page on KSAT.com or sign up for the Open Court newsletter.
Going to be an interesting one to follow. Thank you very much, Erica. Appreciate it.
Looking outside, if you got to get stuck in a traffic jam on 410, at least you can unroll the window and enjoy some fresh air and sunshine.
There is that. There is that. And as we look outside, we've got some high clouds in the distance, but what a stretch we've been in. It has been close to awesome each and every day. Today will be no exception. Let me show you the morning lows. If you woke up this morning, you thought, man, it's cold out there. You were right. It's 42 in San Antonio, 34 Bernie Stage, 33 in Kerrville, so almost down to freezing there in Hill Country. Not quite. Jagged weather for sure earlier. It has changed now. We're looking at temperatures in the 60s, and it feels great out there. And in fact, we'll make our way up into the 70s this afternoon. We were right at 70 yesterday. We'll gain a few more degrees this afternoon. We're thinking somewhere around 73 by the afternoon hours with lots of blue skies, although we'll still see a few of those thin cirrus clouds still in the sky as well. 67 at the airport right now, 69 in Braunfels, 63 Bernie, 65 in Kerrville. In your forecast today, 72 at 3 o'clock, 73. That's our high. Down into the 60s tonight. Another cool morning tomorrow, but things begin to change on Thursday with the addition of some humidity, then a cold front heads our way this weekend. What does that mean for the weekend forecast? We'll look at that in detail for you here in just a couple minutes, guys.
Look forward to that. Thank you, Justin. The search continues this noon for a missing man. And since the silver alert is still active, you're going to likely see the message on TransGuide signs around town. San Antonio police searching for 78-year-old Armando Benavidez. They say he vanished yesterday morning around 10. He was in the 7100 block of Shady Elms near Prue Road on the city's far northwest side. He's about 5'4", has gray hair and brown eyes, and was wearing a black army jacket, green shirt, and blue jeans. He was driving a 2014 beige Toyota Highlander with a license plate DVD7R3. If you know where he is, you're asked to call San Antonio Police.
An HEB on San Antonio's east side reopening after a shootout between a would-be robber and security guards. It happened outside of the store yesterday afternoon. SAPD says the two security guards shot and killed the robbery suspect outside of the New Braunfels Avenue, East Houston Street HEB store. According to Chief William McManus, the man left the store, hid behind a car, and was the first to shoot at the guards. Details on their injuries are not released, but we're told that they're in stable condition. An HEB spokesperson says that shooting happened off of store property. And San Antonio police say they are still looking for a suspect after another shooting. It left a 3-year-old dead. Officers say this one started with shots being fired between two groups at a different HEB parking lot yesterday. The shooting happened near the store on San Pedro, near Oblate, on the north side. That's where police say they found a man in his 20s with a single gunshot wound. The 3-year-old and the child's 22-year-old mother were found at an apartment complex on Jackson Keller, less than 2 miles away. Police say that both of them had been grazed by bullets. All 3 victims taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
San Antonio police getting shot at after answering a call for a carjacking that took place at the Walgreens on Commerce and General McMullen early this morning. The suspects driving a car that was stolen last night. They got another vehicle by carjacking a woman at gunpoint. Drivers in both cars took off. Police pursued. One of them ended up crashing. 3 teens in that car tried to run, even firing at the officers. The officers did not return fire. All 3 eventually caught. None of the officers were hit. So the police were able to recover one of the vehicles. They also found some weapons. They are still looking for the other stolen vehicle and those suspects.
In Lytle, the water is still not good to drink. This following a water main break. Today, the city administrator says that the water samples are going to be sent to a lab. And in the meantime, city leaders have issued a boil water notice warning. Leaders are hoping the water notice gets lifted by tomorrow. But until then, Lytle is telling city water customers to boil their water for at least 2 minutes before they use it.
And if you're looking for a cheaper ride today, SAPD auctioning vehicles that they have seized. You can check them out at the address on your screen, 3625 Groden Road. Gates open at 5 this evening. Bidding starts at 6. You can call 210-207-7932 if you'd like some more information.
Happening tomorrow, our KSAT community partners are teaming up with the Children's Shelter for a phone bank. The goal is to help connect the shelter with interested foster care families or anyone who would like to help sponsor a child. Right now, the Children's Shelter says they have at least 60 foster children that need placement. We'll have that number to call tomorrow on the news at noon.
Hey, the Spurs getting some much needed practice time, and Wemby trying to take advantage of that gym work.
'Tis the season to help those in need. We're hoping you're in a giving mood. After the break, we're going to highlight another way that you can help out the community.
This holiday season, the Salvation Army seeking volunteers for their annual Red Kettle campaign that helps support critical programs here in San Antonio.
Tiffany Huerta shares how the funds will provide housing for people who are experiencing homelessness and support them as they move from crisis to stability.
It's the season of giving and the season of Taylor Swift.
This is our kettle, KSAT kettle, and it's Mike, our new mascot, in his Taylor Swift era. So I like to say that we're in our giving era right now to donate.
The Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign is back, and KSAT12 journalist Daniela Ibarra is raising money to help families in need. It's the nonprofit's biggest fundraiser of the year.
It's sort of become iconic in American culture. It kind of kicks off the Christmas season.
Salvation Army Area Commander Captain Josh Robinette says they need more volunteers to help meet this year's goal.
Well, we're looking to raise over $300,000 for the campaign this year.
The money raised here will also help the Salvation Army's emergency family shelter. They have about 130 families every night. About 70 are children.
This last year, from October to October, we've seen a 25% increase in the need from families coming and seeking shelter. About a 39% increase from single individuals coming as well. We have food pantries, senior nutrition programs, programs for youth.
Robinette has seen the impact these programs are having in San Antonio.
I turn and look, and there's 3 kids and a grandmother who are homeless. They have nowhere to go, right? And so we bring them in and we get them housed. We get them into our shelter, and that's what it's all about, right? So that's why the Salvation Army rings bells.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
And if you'd like to donate, here's your link. We have a QR code on KSAT.com.
Yeah, all you do is have to scan that QR code, and you'll see it in the article.
Take a look outside with live
Outside with
cam.
live cam.
Look at that.
Beautiful. Absolutely perfect.
Any complaints?
Once again, we had some youngsters from a Cibolo Church school, and once again, they're enjoying a lunch out on our little
Outside.
patio with the picnic tables. Like, man, how do we sign up for that deal? What I got to do to get a field
I'm
trip?
telling you, I went out there for a second.
Yeah.
It was like recess. They were just running around. I loved it. I was ready to run around with them. This is the kind of weather that you do. You want to be outside. The aquifer did not change today. It's a 637.5 in your pollen count. Everything's low, molds and mountain cedar. We'll see what mountain cedar does, though, this weekend, and there's a reason why I'm a little worried that number could go up. We'll talk about it coming up.
All right, we didn't have a question of the day yesterday, so we've got 2 today. No, I don't. I think we should.
Kind of, sort of, maybe 2.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't make a decision, but, what is your favorite Christmas movie? Scan that QR code and let us know.
You too, what is it?
Oh, man. At least it's not Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Thank you.
Oh, that's coming up, because that is a polarizing question.
That's going to be one of our questions we were talking about in the meeting this morning.
Okay.
We're skipping that for right now, but favorite Christmas movie?
Mine is a new treasure. I've heard about this for years, and I finally watched Elf, and I agree. It is the best Christmas movie ever because it's about having that joy for Christmas and why you shouldn't be cynical about it. Justin.
And Will Ferrell sells it too, so.
Oh, absolutely.
My wife and I watched an old movie, and I can't even think of the name of it now, but it was in black and white, and we sat and watched it the other night.
You'll know it.
What was it? What was it?
Was it Miracle on 34th Street?
Yes, it was Miracle on 34th Street.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, right there.
I had never seen A Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, and
So I watched it.
Natalie Wood was the little girl in that, in the original.
Yes.
So
He's full of trivia.
All right, so that's talking Christmas, and also we are gonna, just a little hint. This stuff will, oh my goodness, body butter. We're gonna tell you all about whipped
waterless
body butter.
We're gonna eat it.
Yes.
You eat it?
He's gonna eat it now.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna put it on because this will just.
I got all excited.
This is,
Okay, that makes more
Are you
sense.
sure?
This is the greatest
Thank
thing
you
since sliced
for
bread. You could actually
clarifying.
put it on sliced bread. So
I thought
He's gonna eat it in the show.
Bread or something.
Big spoon.
no, this is good.
All right, now we're going to put Justin on the spot because he is the original Grinch who stole Christmas.
Oh, hold on. No.
What's your
I love
favorite
Christmas?
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Home Alone.
Oh yeah,
Home Alone, yeah, that's up there.
good.
Yeah.
That's my childhood.
Yeah.
That's I love that movie.
that's your era.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. There's some other good ones out there, but that would probably take first place for me. Anyway, by the way, speaking of Christmas, meteorologist Sarah Spivey working on an article about white Christmas. When does it snow on Christmas, or does it ever in San Antonio? We'll have more on that on our website coming up. But in the meantime, we're dealing with some great weather. I want to show you, though, the departure from normal rainfall. Why do I show you this? Because as nice as the weather has been, one thing we're lacking here is rain. Not that we want it to rain all the time, but boy, we do need just a couple days here where we get some good downpours. You look at the state of Texas, we're below average just about anywhere you go, including here in San Antonio, where we have one of the state's worst deficits at 11.73. But yeah, anywhere you go in the state, rain is definitely needed. Rain chances this week, not great. Just Saturday, that's it. That's when our cold front comes through. There's a 10% chance here. It's a small window. We're not going to get much rain. So really, it's a dry forecast going into next week. And a lot of people are saying, well, you said it was going to be El Nino. Where's all this rain? It is a good question. El Nino starting to show some signs, but we still haven't just kicked in there yet. And it's not a guarantee, by the way, that El Nino is going to bring us a ton of rain. It's just more of a general pattern shift. And as we get into December, we'll see where that leads us. But as of right now, it is a dry forecast. 67 right now. Dew point is at 43. Easterly winds at about 5 miles per hour. In our forecast today, 71 at 2 o'clock, 72 at 3 p.m. We top out somewhere around 73. Really a gorgeous day. 67 at 6 o'clock, 63 at 7 p.m., 61 at 8 p.m., and then down into the 50s as we get into tonight. It's going to be another chilly morning tomorrow. And as we look at the water vapor, there are still some of those high clouds. We've had a steady stream of high clouds really over the last week or so, and these kind of edged a little bit closer to us today. So there's still a few thin cirrus clouds in the atmosphere, but none of which are going to give us any rain. You look at the big picture here, there's some snow and rain up across the Great Lakes, and that's really about it. Quiet weather scenario, and then high pressure at the surface starts to scoot east. We get more of a southeasterly wind, and that means the moisture starts to come back. More so on Thursday. You'll start to notice more clouds, maybe some fog early on Thursday. And then by Friday, it'll be almost humid out ahead of our next storm system. It doesn't last very long, though, because this sweeps through Saturday morning. That's our little window for rain. It's not a good one. And then we get the windy conditions behind it. So by Saturday afternoon, it's windy, it's colder, it's turning colder, and it's becoming much drier. This is a day I'm worried about with the Mountain Cedar. That's the perfect setup for that number to increase. So we'll see where we end up on Sunday behind this front. And speaking of Sunday, Sunday morning, the winds start to lighten up. We've got clear skies. That means it's going to get cold. Right now, we're forecasting 38 Sunday morning here in San Antonio, but I want to watch that number closely because if conditions are the way they are, we could slip a little bit further, and that means some outlying areas could get close to that freezing mark. We'll see. We're not going to go there yet. Right now, we have everyone above freezing, but that is something to watch Sunday morning. As far as the weekend goes, so Saturday, we're 68 early, but temperatures tumble with that front. It clears out. And then Sunday, we start off in cold in the 30s, but we end up at 60 by the afternoon, which is really pretty nice. Extended forecast, you see the next few days, 70s for the most part, more clouds Thursday and Friday. We talked about the weekend, and then next week starts off on a really nice note, 65 and sunny.
All right, looking good.
Yep. Glad to know I'm one with the viewers, because I also wanted to know where that El Nino thing went.
Yes.
So me and the viewers, we're together on that. The Longhorns talking to us about their win over Alabama earlier this year, and that may have been what actually got them into the playoff. And the Roadrunners excited about playing another bowl game here in the state of Texas.